Hey, this is Chugg, and in this video we're going to be looking at advanced sliding movement for Slash. Now, the movement that you're seeing here, while it might look impressive, I call basic. It's a very specific word that I'm using, and it's what I encourage you to be able to, it's what I encourage you to develop, is to become really good at basic movement for her. Okay? Because if you were to try to tackle these advanced techniques, it's just going to muddle you if you don't have the strong fundamental basic technique down. Okay, so what is advanced sliding technique? Well, it's to understand the situation that you're in, your position, your opponent's position, the terrain around you, the state of the items, your weapons, their weapons, and any stack difference that exists. All of this to feed into one question: which slide should I use in this situation? Which is the best slide to use, I should say. Okay. So so further from that, how many slides does Slash have? How many unique slides does Slash have, I should say? Well, the number that I come to is 8. Now, that may sound like more than you're expecting, but I'll just explain how I come to that. So, Slash can slide using forward and left. She can slide using forward and right. She could use backwards and left, backwards and right. She could use left only, right only. She could also use forward only and back only. But more than that, she can use each of these individual slides while moving the mouse to the left, and she can use each of these slides while moving the mouse to the right, for a total of 16. But of course, I don't say 16 because they're reflections. So 16, wow, okay, well, which of these slides are useful? Obviously, and when I said basic before, that I meant that when you use forward and a strafe direction, let's say forward and right, you move your mouse to the right. I call this the basic slide. This is one of 8, and the reflection, obviously, forward and left mouse movement. It's the basic slide. It has great control. You see where you're going, so that you can adjust your inputs, so that you can avoid hitting. So if I want to come around this corner, I can see the corner, so I can take it wide enough that I don't clip it and lose speed. Okay, so it's a great slide, very versatile, good acceleration, and really good control. But there are 7 other slides, and sometimes in some situations, those other slides are going to be more beneficial. And in a realistic approach, for a situation, there's probably 3 really good slides to use, on average. So you don't have to pick the absolute best one, but being familiar with the different options will really benefit you and develop you in terms of your movement as a Slash player, and really help you in terms of fights and surprising your opponent. But yeah, I want to just say that I learned, I started exploring this months ago, back in October, or November, or December, one of those. Around that time, there was a Reddit post where a player by the name of SmileScythe, that's his Reddit account, posted that, hey, if you play Slash and you use forward only, your crosshair is pretty controlled. If you move it at the right speed, you can sort of track a point. I don't practice this slide, so I'm not sure what that speed is, whether I'm going too fast or too slow. But you can theoretically put your crosshair on an opponent and just track using forward only and just maintaining momentum as you orbit around them. And it's like, oh, you're aiming and moving at the same time. It's really effective. I didn't quite find it. I saw it and fiddled with it, and I didn't quite like it. It didn't feel good because I hadn't done it before. But I was used to tracking points anyway. See there, I'm used to tracking points. I didn't need this forward only business to help me aim, but it did clue me in. What other slides does Slash have? Is there something else that I'm missing? So this is when I started, obviously, outline what are the possible slides, what do they look like? So you come to a blank area as you can, you specify a point that you want to, just a reference point, and I just do a normal slide. Okay, what does this look like? The arc goes like that. Maybe a little bit tighter. It varies based on how fast you move the mouse. Important to know. And my crosshair is facing in this direction. Okay. So in contrast, what does right only look like if I land on the same spot? Okay. the acceleration seems faster. I'm cutting the corner, or I'm cutting the edge much quicker. But my crosshair is still facing in a very similar direction. That's important to know. So a player, say that this was a solid wall, and I'm trying to hold this. The normal slide would carry me straight into the opponent standing at this HP bubble, but right only would take me off in a sharp angle while keeping the crosshair on this position. And being able to choose which one of those you want to do is what it means to utilize advanced sliding. But those are just 2 slides. There are many others. So what if I do left only and move the mouse to the left? Or no, we'll keep, okay, for all of these we'll just move the mouse to the right and just explore what they look like. Okay, landing on the same point. Okay, well, obviously there's stuff in the way, so we'll just have to shift it over. Okay, it's kind of weird, but if you'll notice, the arc that I took, there was a little bit of a little bit of an outward bow, which is why I crashed at the start. But after moving it, I ended up in the same spot as I did with the initial, like the forward and right. Using forward and right here, and using left only. The path is really similar, like surprisingly similar, but the crosshair position is wildly different. So theoretically, if you just, as opposed to landing here, the slide path will be exactly the same if I use left only and forward and right only, or I say only, forward and right. So the path is the same, but the crosshair position is different. What does this mean? It means if you're running away, let's take this as an example. Let's say I've come up the jump pad as a player behind me, and I want to get around this corner. Like, yeah, I could do a normal slide around, fair enough, but if I land a little bit short, I have the chance to hit a rail. And yeah, okay, I missed the jump there, but I don't even know if that's possible to like even get that consistent. Maybe if you carry the movement a bit more instead of jumping here, probably better. But if you're the player chasing, expecting him to run away because he's weak, looking for that last second rail, if he suddenly does a pirouette, rails you, and slide jumps away, you're just like, this guy's a god. Like, what? How could he do that? Oh no. Obviously, you were feeling strong and chasing, but if he can do damage while he's running away, maybe he's got a rocket waiting for me here. I don't really want to push this. I'll just take this and, I'll do something else and just concede mega, or maybe come for this position to get a rail off. It's just such a powerful tool to have, to be able to suddenly turn it on the tables and say, hey, look, I can rail you and get to safety. And be here, ready to reciprocate damage. This is the utility of being able to use these different slides. What other slides do we have? And this is my favorite. So that slide I just showed, I've never used it in a real game, but it's something I might look to do in the future. I'll have to find, specific spots on different maps that it'll be really good on. But this is my favorite and is the most useful. We'll take a real position. So let's say a player sitting here. How do we say this? So I'm playing as the opponent here. I want to deny the railgun because my opponent is Slash and I don't want him having rail poking me from different angles, sliding away, being really infuriating. I'd rather, hard defend this, make sure he doesn't get it. Or at least punish him and try and kill him if he goes for it. So I hear some noises. I hear that he's coming from halls. I, as a Slash player, hear nothing. Let's say I'm suspicious. Maybe he's above, waiting with a waiting rocket. That's, I can deal with that. I'm happy to take a rocket from that position because he can't really chase because I'm quick. If I'm quick, unless it spoils my movement and I die, blah blah blah. Like, let's say I suspect that, hang on, he might be in this corner, and that would be the worst case scenario, and I want to defend against that. So if I do the normal slide, let's say I counter-strafe back that way because I want to get to LG, how do I hit this guy? Like, I have to do this massive flick. Like, I have to... And even then, like, that's off my pad to hit that position. That's because my sensitivity is, low, but whatever. Like, I could do that. But it's so invasive for me. Okay? But instead, using forward and right, moving the mouse to the left, I peek with my crosshair on the position. More than that, I've got the momentum carried through, right? Think about it from this player's perspective. He sees a slash peek facing him. He sees this image. His brain is telling him, okay, when I see this, slash she's suspecting that I'm here. She's checking the angle. She might go back. She might grab the rail and then go back. Like various, like the rocket's probably going to go here. This player is not going to expect the slash to come out facing him and then go sailing off in this direction. Like this is not something that slashes normally do. Like sure, they come out and then they flick, but to come out staring at you, that triggers, if a player searches their, subconsciously searches their database of things that have occurred, this is something that has occurred much less often, and is, likely, not going to be responded to correctly just because it's weird, Okay. So this is the gist of it. Also, all the backward sliding is incorporated in the 8 movement directions. So let's say I'm defending here, and I know he's going to drop, and I want to retreat. Look at the terrain. If you watch my video, the terrain around you will help you. So the floor in this room is tiled, and really fortunately, the tiles line up with the doorway pretty well. So if I'm here, I can see by peripheral vision that this is how I need to, or maybe correct. See, I come up clean. Like I can retreat while keeping my crosshair on spot. I can just line myself up with some backwards movement and get through. My crosshair facing the direction I need to go. It is true that I need mouse movement to gain speed, but at any instance I can just switch to normal movement while shooting. Like, to gain mastery over all of this is really valuable for a top player, but if you're still struggling to just move around like this, oh wow, like I am. See, I shouldn't even be doing advanced stuff, which I'm not. I'm focused on improving my, being able to shoot rocket launcher. I need to hit rockets. I need to avoid bumping into stuff. To spend the time to learn and develop the 7 other slides, it's not really worth my time at the moment. But a player like Toxjq, hell yeah, like he's already got good mouse control. He's got good awareness. He knows how positions work. He can time like a beast. It's devoted effort to mastering all this weird stuff like this that will really help him, because he can keep his crosshair forward where it needs to be while moving in the way that he needs to move. Okay? Is there anything else that I really want to say about this? Not really. Like forward, like using forward only, like at the time I dismissed it. I say dismissed it, I sort of discounted it because it sort of, it was too slow and I didn't like the angle that it carved, so let's just have a look at it more closely now that I have more experience. So landing here, yeah, it's just, yeah, I feel less sure. Like the arc is very, like I can match this arc using forward and right, but I can have much more control over where I'm going. I feel it could be, it could be because I've used forward and right a lot more than I've used forward only, but I feel as though I have a lot more control. Yeah. But obviously I can slide in this direction and have my cross over here. Like that's useful. But that's sort of taken the place by forward and left. Move mouse to the right. Okay. This may be a little bit messy and a little bit muddled. So I want to give a little bit of structure here. Really, do not practice this unless, one, you're really enthusiastic and like, oh, this looks like it'll be fun. If it'll be fun, go ahead. If you're looking for an edge, if you're a player at like 1900 dual rating and you think this will give you an advantage, learn more about positioning. Learn more about correct weapon utilization, sneaking, control. This is all much better, a much better use of your time, because, as I said, if it takes so much to learn how to use one slide when you have to use 7 others. Like, you don't have to employ all 7. You can just pick one. You can pick my favorite, the forward and left, move mouse to the right, forward and right, move mouse to the left, like this one. Absolute favorite. I love it. Blood Run, very useful. Coming down the, let's come back to this situation. Coming down the tri-bolt stairs, So let's say Tribolt is like out here, and I've come down the stairs, and let's say Rocket is about here, and Mega is down there. If I use the forward and right, I peek the corner wide. Again, other options that your opponent may entertain is a peek rail retreat, but I'm peeking the corner wide, facing him, and I've got the momentum. Like, in terms of weirdness, it might give you an advantage, sure, but it's mainly my crosshair's on the position. Like, I don't have to like set my momentum and then flick. It's all in one motion. Anyway, I hope that that's clear enough. And if you have any questions, please ask in the comments. I assume that I've missed something massive that's just escaping me, but yeah, I hope this is helpful, and see you later.